Thanks, William, for the insight into using properties. Hopefully, you can take some tips on it. Our second speaker of tonight is Baldy. Baldy is doing his speech number 2 for Advanced Communication Manual, the interview show. The evaluator of the speech is Richard. Richard, could you please stand up and give us the objectives?
Yes. Baldy's speech tonight is in the setting of an interview show. Baldy will be speaking to an interviewer, in this case will be Will. And the objectives of Baldy's speech are to understand the dynamics of an interview or talk show, to prepare the questions that may be asked of you during an interview program, and to present a positive image on camera. Is to appear as a guest on a simulated video talk show. The time for the speech is 5 to 7 minutes.
So, Baldy's speech of title of tonight is Learn to Fly. As William will be introducing Baldy for the talk show, so may I welcome William to the show again?
Have you ever driven by a small airport and wondered who the people who fly those airplanes really are? You may think they must be someone special, a special breed of man, but they aren't. They are just like you. Today we are going to interview one of those people that took the time to learn to fly and made their dream come a reality. He might even give you some tips to get you into the cockpit and off into the atmosphere on your own aviation adventures. Please welcome Baldy. Thank you for joining us tonight, Baldy. How much does learning cost to fly?
Well, learning to fly is not that expensive. You can get a recreational pilot's license from as low as $15,000. You can get a private pilot's license from about $25,000. But to get a commercial license, so you can fly for Qantas or something like that, you're looking at around $69,000.
Thank you. You talked about different types of licenses. What are the different types and what is the differences?
Certainly. Well, a recreational pilot's license means that you're able to fly in command of an aeroplane in a restricted flying area, and you're able to fly out of the restricted area under instruction from a tutor or a teacher. A private pilot's license means you can fly unaccompanied anywhere in Australia, up to 18,000 kilometres from the ground. So it enables you to get right up in the air and fly across different states and different areas to enjoy. A commercial pilot license, this is where you can actually get paid, because the two previous licenses that I just mentioned, you cannot get paid. You can't reap a reward, you can't show a profit for flying other people. However, you can split the costs, right? So if you're hiring a plane, you can split the cost between, say, 3 or 4 or 5 people, and that will cover the cost of flying to different airports. The commercial pilot license, as I mentioned, that one there means that you can fly for other airlines like Qantas Airlines or Jetstar, or you can also have private charter flights across Australia, and you can get paid for that. They're the different types of licenses.
Thank you, Baldy. How long does it take to obtain a license?
Well, to obtain a license, it depends on the person, right? But to apply for a recreational pilot's license, it's about 25 hours of air flying. And to get a private pilot's license, you're looking at approximately 40 to 60 hours of flying. To get a commercial license, you'll be looking at about 150 hours of flying. Time to actually achieve this is really up to the person. It depends on how much more time you can put into actually going along to lessons and fly, and also how much time you're prepared to put in the study required to receive each of these licenses.
Will I get airsick, Baldy?
Well, airsick, people do get airsick, right? But it's like driving a car. When you find that you're driving a car, you seem to get less car sick. But when you're a passenger, you're more likely to get car sick. However, if you do experience some air flight sicknesses, after all continuous flying, you'll find that you'll get over a lot of that. So don't be that concerned about it.
I'm sure I'll be safe with you. Is there much home study involved?
Well, there is a bit of home study. For recreational and for private pilot's license, there's very little home study. Mainly your study is done while you're in the training. However, in order to get a commercial pilot license, a significant amount of private study time is required.
How long does each lesson last for?
Well, each lesson lasts for about 2 hours. When you're flying in the air, you get to fly for about an hour. And the other hour is followed up with the closing down of the aeroplane and also some theoretical exams while you're actually at the training facility.
Thank you for that information. Where can I fly when I have my license?
Well, when you've got your private pilot's license, as I mentioned, you can fly anywhere up to 18,000 kilometres off the ground. You can't fly over 18,000 kilometres because that's where the commercial flights fly. However, below that you can certainly fly. As a recreational pilot, you can only fly in the designated flying area unaccompanied. Right? Over the accompanied area, you can fly, but with training with an instructor. You'll tend to do this when you're learning some emergency procedures and understand that. But as a private pilot's license, you can also fly other countries. So if you're interested in flying into Bali, for argument's sake, it's really simple to go to Bali. You simply hire a plane, you pass a little bit of a test while you're there, and then off you go, you can fly around in Bali.
I don't know if I want to do that. What kind of aeroplane will I fly?
Well, you can basically fly any type of aeroplane that you like and what you're trained in. It's like a car. You're trained in certain amounts of cars. You can have an automatic license, you can have a manual license. So there's different levels there of planes that you can fly. I personally fly a Cessna plane, which is otherwise known as a bug smasher. So those little tiny planes that zip around the air, and those little tiny ones are the ones I hire. Those cost me about $285 for an hour. And that hour means that it'll also cover the petrol and the cost for actually flying that plane, except the landing fees and the runway fees, which are generally quite minimal, $15 to $18 for no expenses.
That'd be pretty funky, I'd imagine, Baldy.
Oh yeah.
At what age should I start my flying lessons?
Well, anybody can start flying at really any age, right? If you're a young child or have a young child in your family that's interested in flying, generally, however, they start around 13 to 14 years of age. And the reason for that is you cannot fly unaccompanied unless you're at least 15 years of age. So being of a young age is quite important. Right? But also at the other end of the spectrum, you can be older as well. Now, I have read a story about a pilot who had his first pilot's license and started flight at 83. So there really is no limit to it. As long as you're healthy, you can pass the medical tests.
That's our show for tonight. I've got to go and see you.
See you, work. Thank you.